Such a small world, eh? Going and coming. She was going to Mexico.
We heard, yeah. And you have to come in and give my wife a report.
All right, guys, we're live.
Okay. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. I'm going to start with number 1 on our agenda, the land acknowledgement. I acknowledge with respect that we are in Robinson Huron Treaty Territory, that the land on which we are gathered is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, known as Boating. Boating is the home of Garden River First Nation, Batchewana First Nation, and the historic Sault Ste. Marie Métis Council. Item number 2 on our agenda is the adoption of minutes. Everyone has had a chance to read the minutes from our last meeting. Any questions or comments? None noted. May I have a mover to adopt the minutes, please? Jen, and a seconder? Brianna? Oh, Brianna, you weren't at the last meeting. You can't second it. Okay. Tracy? All in favor? Item number 3 on our agenda, declaration of pecuniary interest. Any declarations? None noted. Okay. Adoption of our agenda. Everyone's received the agenda. May I have a mover for the adoption of the agenda? Graham? And a seconder? Mark? All in favor? Turn my phone on here. Wasn't. Excuse me. Item number 5, our business arising. Our first item number 5.1 is the outdoor rink resolution. I'd like to thank Yari and his staff for compiling all the information that we received. What was quite interesting, I thought, was the stats from a regular season, the 22-23 season. Does anyone have any comments or questions about our outdoor rink resolution? We haven't come to one yet, but any comments after reading that information? I, for one, was pleased at the number of skaters that were using the rinks in the particular neighborhoods. And this year certainly was not a common year. As Yari has suggested, it was less than 2 weeks of outdoor rink operation. But in other years, it's quite a bit more than that. So I would maybe look for some direction as to how to proceed with this, either from maybe Yari or Virginia, about maybe putting a show of hands together or a resolution in terms of what we think as a committee that the importance or the maybe unimportance of the outdoor rinks. Anyone?
I still value, sorry, I still value that whole concept of the neighborhood breaks.
Okay.
Some really good stuff.
All right, thank you, Tracy. Graham.
Sorry, Tracy. I only caught part of what you said. I don't know if everybody else that's on camera could hear as well.
But it really, still really value that concept of neighborhood breaks. And there's some great stats here showing usage.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. Chair recognizes Graham.
I just wondered if we should maybe talk about like the options for what could be included in this. I don't think no one's going to approve a resolution. Sees one close, right? Like we're all in favor of keeping it. Okay, so let's we can forget that. Right? I think like the new report talked about security costs, reducing those by a couple hours. It seems pretty marginal. Gary, is that safe to say?
I think if we did it, in the one example I provided, it'd be about $8,000 in savings for the season. If it was a 60-day season, which kind of seems to be the average, 63-day season would be the average.
Yeah, and I think it talks about like yeah, if it was to be cut even further, the issues would just. be
Yeah,
bad.
so, yeah, exactly, so it wouldn't be recommended from the Parks Department if we were to remove security altogether. Security did a lot to calm some of the problems they were having at the rinks. However, if we do have a reduction in security, that means people won't have access to the shacks or the sheds, trailers. And then they wouldn't have access to Porter Johns. So obviously, if a kid shows up at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday and wants to start skating on the rink, more than welcome to, we wouldn't have issue with that. Just that we don't have security coming until 12, he won't be able to access a bathroom until then.
Doesn't seem fair. Cause then you're gonna go.
Yeah, I think, Nelson Scott will have a.
Okay, I'm sorry. Chair recognizes Councillor Scott.
Sorry, guys, I'm not on video because I'm driving. Hands-free though, I promise. So it's no secret. Last term, I tried to bring a motion forward to get another outdoor rink into Bayview, and also this year seems almost counterintuitive. I was looking to reduce the budget by 75,000 by eliminating a rink. Ideally, though, my full views on this is I agree. I think community rinks are important. I think in a perfect world with unlimited funds, I'd prefer that each ward at least have one. Wearing my ward hat, Ward 5 of note has no city operated rinks, indoor or out. And that's one thing I know that the people of Bayview have been clamoring for. And I when I brought that motion forward last term, it was about, bringing one back to that community now that the cycle has come back to young families. I know that they've reached out to me, those folks who wanted a rink, and I know that you touched on the history of the report here, about volunteering to help operate it. But of course, I can appreciate that when people are wanting something, they'll say that they're going to volunteer. And then as the time comes, oh, it's too cold. Oh, I'm too busy. So things don't work out that way. I think it's a very good detailed report, and I'm happy to see it. And I do think that we need, it seems that now that we're outside of budget time, and I'm not looking to save money from a city point of view, I think having as many rinks as we can actually feasibly operate is important. It's key. I have nothing against the rink at Esposito. If anyone is curious, that was the one I picked only because of the usage was low, and it does appear that's the case, but that's fine. I think having an outdoor rink in all neighborhoods would be ideal, or at least all wards. So great report. I was happy to read it. This is something that is near and dear to my heart, and hopefully we can figure out a way that maybe we can service, the report mentions the northern end of town. That's definitely true. But further west as well, if there's any sort of way. And I'd be happy to champion that at council if we wanted more money for this type of thing, because I think that it'd be great to have rinks throughout the neighborhood or throughout the city.
Well, thank you for your comments, Councillor Scott. That's good to hear. I think that we can sort of maintain our status quo and enter next year with our 3 existing outdoor rinks, and just sort of monitoring the use. And I don't know whether the budget pot of gold would ever open up or whatever, but I hear you when you say that Ward 4, or your ward, I'm sorry, doesn't have an outdoor rink. And there was a vibrant rink there for many years, but basically it's very difficult in today's busy life, I guess, that to allow or to rely on volunteers, and possibly something that's that can maybe be championed or suggested through our members of the committee and other people about seeing if we can maybe possibly help you out with getting a rink in your neighborhood. Jen?
So then are we looking at creating like a resolution where we would recommend, status quo or any closure of any of the current rings, and in future budgets exploring the possibility of implementing or developing rings in each of the wards, or each of the wards having access to rings?
Yeah. Did everyone hear that? I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Sorry, I only caught part. I apologize. I only got part of what Jen said.
Sorry, I'll speak louder. I can do that. So would we create a resolution then that the committee is recommending that status quo be remained and the rinks that are currently open remained open for the next season, and in future budget processes, explore the possibility of implementation of rinks within each ward, or explore opportunities for implementing, whether it's the city or volunteers or other organizations, grants, I'm not sure. But continue to keep that as a goal in mind.
Chair recognizes Brianna. Or Brenna, sorry.
So I definitely agree with everything that Jen and Matt have said so far. I think the demographics of certain areas are really poignant. So as much as they might not be using a rink, and we don't have those stats, the possibility that they would is definitely there. I'm in Ward 5. I see backyard rinks. If there was a possibility that it was a combination where maybe the city would support like the funding for volunteers to run those things. So if you took it out of your backyard, but you put the costs on the city, you know, like something that would be easier for the local people to run because it was going to be fully supported by the city. So kind of being open to that option where, you know, you have these that you're servicing all year, but then also if certain areas, people wanted to come to you to figure out how to start up a rink in a certain area of a neighborhood or keep one running, then they could work together and move forward with that.
Thank you for your comment, Brenna. Chair recognizes Virginia.
Yeah, and just to Brenna's point, we have worked with other groups in the community. So one of the things that we did was Grandview Parents Council was a group that was organizing a rink. So our public works staff would bring the rink boards down and help them get things set up. And then the school parent group took care of the maintenance and running the rink on the school property. So I think that's something that the city's always wanting to support is those groups that are out there and work with them in any way that we can. So yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
Chair recognizes Jen.
And we thought about sponsorship as well and talking to local businesses and doing that, because I know there's the benches and different things like that. Is that a possibility? I don't know. It just came to my brain. I don't know if that's a possibility or something to help kind of, if costs are an issue, look at that and we could offer advertising or something on the rink boards or.
And I know a suggestion like that. Virginia, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say there was a recent resolution that was passed at the March 18th council that's requested staff to look into advertising opportunities in different areas. So that's something that we are going to be exploring as we start to prepare the report back to council with regards to advertising.
Thanks, Virginia.
Yeah. And another comment I have is that, and I haven't followed up on it at all, but at Sioux College, there is a large component of outdoor recreation and outdoor sciences students. And basically, we've always tried to include them in some of our summer activities, and it's hard to do it because they're not in school in the summertime. But basically, a rink is right in the school year type of thing. And it's something that I'm going to pursue and talk to a couple of the professors in that outdoor environment group just to see if they can possibly think of like not a co-op thing, but an experience thing for their students to do a real activity to help the community. And I just really had not thought about that idea until the last month or so, and I think I'm going to follow up on that. Any other comments or questions?
I
Graham?
just wanted to echo, the report is really good. It's really, like, I really appreciate this history and like, a lot of these ideas have been tried.
Mhm.
And comparing where we are to other cities, like our model is different. Like, we have a couple really good rates as opposed to some of these other ones and based on the sub-breed. It sounds like, yeah, they have a lot of them, but they don't seem to be open very often and you rely on volunteers. It's a risk. So I think the model is really good. They have a couple really good ones, a couple more would be good. But Yeah, but the report really tells that story. I had no idea, so it's really good. So if we, I don't know if the resolution should include it endorsement.
So I did write up a little resolution.
Okay, thank you, Larry.
So. Resolved that the Park and Recreation Advisory Committee recommend that no outdoor rinks be closed and explore opportunities to increase outdoor rinks to each ward if possible in future budget discussions.
Sorry,
Virginia?
I'm just gonna jump in, because the other resolution read a reduction in budget.
Yeah,
Be applied, I think we need to, if that's the will of the committee, make reference to that the budget would remain, intact in order to operate the rinks, because if that $75,000 reduction is there, the potential to operate the rinks in 2025 would not be the same level.
so I will
So
say.
if I actually, are you okay if I jump in and read one, Mary? And then just for clarification from the committee, there was a second part of the discussion that was there with regards to exploration or looking into additional rinks in other wards that are lacking. Is that something that we want to include in this resolution? And if so, do you want the potential of re-exploring, say, Mike Zook rink to be referred to the budget process for 2025? Or do you just want a generic as part of research for 2025 in this?
I think that it's something we need to explore, and in Ward 5, I'm not that familiar with the schools in the area. Perhaps the model that Grandview had might be something that could be considered or looked into. And certainly I'm not sure the availability of the Mike Zook rink property. I'm not sure, is that still privately owned?
No, that's a city property with infrastructure still intact.
Right. Yeah, I think both of those, I don't know that we need to necessarily mention those names in our resolution. I think that if we could just sort of maintain our status quo, and I'm not sure how to.
So I think, what Berger's getting at, we want to recommend that we don't, have a reduction in budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything, my understanding is no reduction in budget and exploring the expansion
That's,
of one or two, but for sure, Bayview, if they're in need, or if a community is requesting physical activity opportunities for families, I certainly think that's one of our jobs as the Park and Recreation Committee in looking at the needs of our communities. So if they're asking, and if Councillor Scott has a good rapport with some of those parents, and I'm familiar with the Grandview rink. My children attended Grandview. There was a huge parent support, and I think part of the issue with the volunteerism is you're great while your children are in the school, and then when they grow up, you know, you're hoping that the other younger parents not to help. But it was a very successfully run rink, and that's nice if you have one of the school boards on your side, because it's
Right.
their property.
So where is the Mike Zook rink?
It's in the west end, in the Bayview area,
Oh,
by the
good.
steel plant. Yeah, it's Ward 5.
Okay.
so Virginia, have we really confused our resolution?
Yeah, I think I just want to make sure. So, resolve that the Parks and Recreation Committee recommend that the number of outdoor rinks remain the same in 2025 and that the supporting budget be maintained. And further that staff explore the options for additional future rinks. Is that correct, Tracy?
That's my understanding, Virginia.
Yeah.
I like that, because it doesn't necessarily need to be, like, I mean, explore opportunities, partnerships, that sort of thing. It's not necessarily city fully funded, but there might be other opportunities such as volunteers or sponsorship if you're looking at that other resolution. So just keeping it open to various possibilities.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, it might not be worth writing like our justification why we need to keep the budget there, but for those opportunities of self-starters or things that we're investing in that are going to save in the budget, that's that big ask, I would say. But I think the resolution sounds great.
Thank you, Brendan. Anyone else? Okay. Do we need to repeat the resolution, or can I just ask for someone to move the resolution? Jen is the mover, and the seconder, please. Graham is the seconder. All in favor? Well, thank you, everyone. And Councillor Scott, I was very happy to see your name appear on the Zoom attendance there. Thanks for joining us today.
Yep, absolutely. Sorry, once again, I'm not on video. Have to do the old dad thing and pick the kids up and get home from work, but happy there's a virtual option for this.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay. Item number 5.2 on our business is park development update. So who's gonna do that? I know it won't be Brent.
In Brent's absence, he did want to make you guys aware that he is going to finalize the Park and Recreation Master Plan. So he's hoping to bring that to council on May 13th.
Is he requesting our presence
For
for support, or is that, would that be beneficial or not?
no, he just wanted to give you guys an update. That's where it is.
Okay.
If anybody would like to attend, we'll make sure you know which meeting it's taking place at so that you're able to come and participate if you like. It's always great to have committee members in attendance for those major milestones. As far as other updates, we're just finalizing a number of components out at Point Duchesne. So the next phase of the projects, the shelter is up, the accessible washroom doors and change rooms are there and ready to go. The water wheelchair has arrived. So the last little piece to finish up is some additional pathways for that project. And then we'll be giving out more information and probably doing a ribbon cutting once the weather warms up out at that location. We're currently just finalizing some of the last details for the splash pads. So I'm just currently looking at shade structures. So we are going to be adding a shade element in to the space. It's going to be a big cantilevered 16 by 16 foot umbrella to create a space there so that we can have picnic tables and a place for families to get out of the sun when they're enjoying the splash pad. We'll also be working on planning a grand opening as we get into the summer months for that location as well. And Rosedale, there's some items that need to be tied up at that location. So as the parks crews get that underway, we'll also have another grand opening there this summer. So we have quite a few grand openings and opportunities to get out and invite the community to participate in the different recreation activities. Trying to think which other ones. We're also working on the RFP right now for the neighborhood playgrounds. So those are kind of the big projects. And then I don't know, event wise, Yari, if we've got that on there. If we wanted to talk a little bit about the pump track event target and then June for participation while we're talking about parks.
Yeah, so we are going to have the pump track event. Was it June?
First.
Yeah, June 1st, pump track event. We just got the funding announcement. We did get our participation grant for $1,500. So we will be running the Try a Sport Day. I haven't finalized the date, but more than likely it will be the following weekend on the June 8th and 9th. And then that is gonna be tied in with Participation Month, which is the month of June, where each community tries to challenge each other to get the most minutes of exercise. There are some prizes, but the most important part is just getting people to commit. And then I did get a phone call today. We're gonna do a bike to work week again through the Emily Cormier with the Green Initiative with the city. So that'll be coming as well.
Great. Any questions or comments from anyone?
Yeah.
Ma'am?
Okay, would we be able to get a presentation on the master plan, either if it's not before it goes to council or what after?
Yeah, so we'll have another meeting on May 5th, I think it is, May 7th. So I could definitely have a synopsis of it. It is quite lengthy, but
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Did-
yeah.
Because after it goes to council.
Virginia?
Did everybody have a chance to see the summary that was posted on the city's website?
No.
We can send that out as well, so I'll send that out following the meeting as well for the committee.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Okay. Item number 6 are our subcommittee task force updates. 6.1 is staff. Staff has had a meeting in the last month and a half or so. Basically, they're still reorganizing, but what has been planned, the end of April, April 28th or 29th, the planning department has arranged a presentation to the staff committee from the consultant that is upgrading the, and I can always never get the name right, the active transportation master plan, which is another master plan that the city is using, but it's out of date by about 10 or 12 years. Basically, the consultant is presenting their suggestions to the staff committee on April 28th or 29th. So basically, in our May meeting, I can report on that and let you know how that is. They're hoping to finalize the master plan for transportation at some point in the summer. We've been working on it for quite a while. Any questions or comments? Okay. We're on to item number 7, new business. And I'm looking at Virginia or Yari. Any new business?
Yeah, so just the update to bylaw 2018-13.
Oh, right, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the whole my agenda.
Yeah. So basically, we were approached about there's been a lot of people using power assist bicycles now, the popularity has become. So we've been approached about altering the bylaw to approve these bicycles to be used. Not to be confused with a moped or something like that, but the actual, the bikes that give you a little boost when you're going up hills or that kind of thing.
Yeah, they won't move unless you pedal them.
Yeah, basically.
They won't operate on just electric.
Yeah, so we consulted with our legal department and he presented a modification to the bylaw. We included that in the appendix. So if you guys approve it, you can see where he made changes to the actual bylaw. And then if you guys go through it and approve it, then we can move forward with the amendment.
Did everyone have a chance to look at that and do they understand it? Jen?
Just a couple quick questions. So I am not an expert in bikes at all, but I'm just wondering if there's context of how like the wheel size was determined and the watts determined, like is this based on, I'm assuming it's based on evidence, but just to our basis, because it says not exceeding 500 watts. No more than 32 kilometers, doesn't weigh more than 55 kilograms. So is that based on research? I'm assuming based on research and evidence, but just to confirm.
Yes, so this was researched by our legal department.
Okay,
In the best way to define a power assist
okay.
bicycle.
Did they consult, do you know if you consulted with, because there's lots of bike experts and that sort of thing. Was there consultation with them?
I believe so.
Okay.
He did quite a bit of research on this that he looped us into on all this,
And
so.
generally what happens is, one of the classifications, they have class 1, class 2, class
Okay.
3
Yeah.
of these bicycles. This is class 1 are the pedal assist pedal.
Okay,
So basically, they will not move unless you're putting input or
Okay.
pedaling.
Yep.
They're pedal assist, and that's what this is clarifying. Basically, now it's different to, you know, a person who needs, with a disability, who needs a mobility device.
yes,
That's something we also allow, and that certainly is not pedal assist.
right.
But this description helps
Yeah.
clarify that.
No, I'm in support of it. I just wanted to make sure that before it was approved, that we make sure that it aligns and it's, you know, it addresses what's being used.
Any other questions or comments on this? Okay. Yaria, Virginia, did you want to read the resolution?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and read it.
Okay, thanks, Yaria.
So. Resolved that the Park and Recreation Advisory Committee approved the proposed changes to bylaw 2018-13 regarding power assist bicycles on the hub trail.
Okay. May I have a mover? Mark? And I'll second this. All in favor? We under new business. Now we get thinking about Martin on the line and Sports Hall of Fame 2024.
Okay, so just so you guys know, I believe I shared this with you last week or the week before, that nominations are out for the Sports Hall of Fame. It goes until April 23rd, I believe, at 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m., end of business day. So I will present to you guys in May, the eligible nominees. So basically it'll be anyone nominated this year as well as the past 2 years. So there'll be a few people to look at. Just so you guys know, what I'll do is what I did in former years is prior to the meeting, I will disclose to you who the nominees are as well as their qualifications and their application packages. So you'll be able to review prior to coming into the meeting. We are able to select up to 2 people per year, but that doesn't mean we have to select 2. We could select 1 or we could select 0 based on what you consider their merits to be. So this is just basically a heads up that we'll be giving that to you later this month, after April 23rd, but before our meeting on the 7th.
And then we still have our past applications that have not been.
Yeah, so the past 2 years, so 2023 and 2022, they're eligible to be considered. Anyone past that, if their nominees still think they should be on the Sports Hall of Fame, they can resubmit an application.
Okay. Yeah, that's always an exciting time. It's fun or it's rewarding to see how the uptake has usually been. Hopefully this year we'll have some interesting applications as well.
Yeah, so last year we had Marty Dima with arm wrestling and Betsy Jackman with mountain bike.
Okay, any questions or comments? All right, and correspondence, number 8. Any correspondence?
No correspondence.
Okay. And here we are at number 9, our next meeting planned for May 7th. We do have some regrets already, but that's okay. We'll miss you. Item number 10, adjournment. May I have a mover to adjourn, please? Tracy, and the seconder, Jen, all in favor? Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Bye.